John, why do you think your team's now going to the ALCS?
I think because they're a really close group. I think they're talented, and we had some big name guys do some big things, and we had some guys that have been doing it all year do some things that they normally are pretty good at. So it's a really close group, and if I've said it to you guys once, I've said it a million times. They're really good at turning the page to the next thing that's important. So just happy for everyone that was involved, and kind of fitting that it took everyone to win today.
What does this mean for you and your family?
Man, you're going to make me cry. It's really satisfying. This job is hard. The season is hard. Decisions are hard. Sacrifices are hard that you make, and that they make for me. So to have them here is really, really fulfilling. And I always say that, any success that this team, or not me, this team has, Jess and Gunnar and Grayson have a part of it, because they allow me to do what I do.
We'll go to the first row on your left, Schneids.
Coach, first and foremost, congratulations.
Thank you.
In a game like this, there's a lot of emotion involved. How was you able to control the emotion and the flow of the game? Because you're losing and winning, you can get off kilter.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts, you know what I mean? And this team is never going to go quietly. I think it was nice to get out to a lead in the first, and even when McMahon hit the home run, you still feel pretty good about how it was going to line up, but the guys went out and did it, you know what I mean? And huge bat from George, couldn't be happier for Nathan Lucas with the series that he had, and the season that he's had, really. So I think more so than anything, they do a really good job of managing themselves. It's a unbelievable cast of characters in there that can keep a group level-headed or get a group going if you need to. So, a lot, if not all, the credit goes to the players.
Fourth row on your left, Gregor.
John, all season you guys have been talking about the next man up approach, and so how fitting is it that you guys close this out on a bullpen day in particular, where you had 8 guys come in and really contribute?
Very fitting. I think I said it a few times in the clubhouse. I think the baseball world as a whole looked at a bullpen game versus Cam as kind of a no contest. And we view it as an opportunity to do what we're good at. So to have basically almost every pitcher contribute, and to have some prominent names contribute, and some guys that have been doing it all year, Barge with 3 hits, and Miles with an add-on run, and Lukey with a big hit. It's just very fitting, and kind of sums up the 25 Blue Jays.
Go to Keegan on the left.
John, this seemed like a game where you and Pete probably had to make more decisions than average. How would this, standing next to Pete all day, compare to like a Tuesday in May?
Completely different. If people knew the work that went into it, it's stressful. We started talking at 1 o'clock this afternoon, and I give so much credit to Pete and to Graham Johnson and to Sam Green and Luke Hoey for kind of working together to kind of figure this out, right? So my job is to try to put them in the right spots. Their job is to go execute, which they all did, So you can have a plan, you can have a script, whatever. It is what it is, but the players have to go do it. But yeah, today, it was pretty gratifying, standing next to Pete, who I've known and loved for a lot of years, even when I wasn't in the big leagues. When I was in the minor leagues, he's treated me like a brother, So to kind of react in real time, and, I think that we've gotten a lot better at having a plan, reading the room, reading the feel of the game, and making decisions. So it was pretty fulfilling today to have Pete there.
I know that if you could just get a complete game shutout, that's cool too. But is a game like this fun for you? You've kind of got your foot on the gas, hand on the wheel the whole time.
Yeah, I texted those guys I just mentioned this morning and just said, like, this is an opportunity to have some fun, which I really meant. It seems uncomfortable as hell, but I really meant it. And it's easy to say, okay, we blew a lead yesterday and we're walking into this today, but I think that we really kind of felt it, Fun right now, yeah. from 1 o'clock till 10 o'clock, debacle. You know, it's a lot. You know what I mean? I shouldn't say debacle, but there's just a lot of moving parts. So just glad that the guys did what they did.
Second row, your right, Julian.
John, I believe you guys were 15 for 37 with runners in scoring position. What just leads to you all's such relentless at bats?
You know, we make a lot of contact. You know, that's been evident throughout the year. And again, I'm going to deflect credit to hitting coaches. You know, Pop and Lou and Hunter for guys going up there with a plan. You know, I think kind of the epitome of it is Nathan Lucas facing Devin Williams, knowing he's probably going to get a fastball, but Vlad sitting on deck and not being afraid to commit to it, you know, when his changeup is his best pitch. So I think guys have a plan when they go up there, and we try to utilize everyone's skill set to the best that we can. And it comes and it goes. You know, we've been pretty consistent over the year with guys in score position, but I just think kind of how we're built helps that a lot too.
Far back on your left, Ed.
John, congratulations.
Thank you.
Is it much more difficult to manage a bullpen game than a game with a conventional starting pitcher?
You know, I've thought about that quite a bit for the last couple years. This answer may surprise you, but no. It's almost harder to manage when you have veteran pitchers that you trust and that have been through it before, and sometimes you push them too far, to be honest with you. So I think learning from past mistakes or successes gets us a little better to navigate a game like today. Again, you're kind of mapping out best possible scenarios, and the guys have to go do their part. And you know, it's not fun per se, but I think we view it as a good challenge, and our guys have really kind of accepted that this year and done really well with it.
And ultimately, what was the difference in you winning and the Yankees not winning?
I don't know. I think today, I mean, we got the big hit. You know, Lukey got the big hit. Took advantage of a miscue that they made, you know, much like they did to us yesterday, defensively. So I think that was kind of the turning point. You know, we put the ball in play when we needed to, and we struck guys out when we needed to, which is kind of, you know, what you're shooting for.
Did two more. Greg up front on your left.
Hey, John, much like last week, now you guys get a break, and your opponent will be going the distance again. How does that help you as you look forward?
You know, it's nice to take a deep breath. It's really nice to go home and know that we're playing at home. And it's nice to kind of sort through what we think is the best way to try to beat whoever we're going to play, you know. Allows some guys to hopefully get a little bit more healthy, allows some guys to get a little bit of rest after what was a very emotional, hard-fought, you know, 4 games against the Yankees. So we'll enjoy tonight, and we'll start figuring out, you know, the next series when we wake up.
We'll finish up with the last question, standing on your right.
You talked about everybody making contributions on this team, but you got to talk a little bit about that bottom third of the lineup, particularly Ernie. He's batting .643.
I think Ernie Clement has kind of, you know, made everyone aware how good he is. It's been like that the whole year from the bottom part of our lineup, you know, and it's you try to navigate it to where guys can put the ball in play, guys can get on base for guys at the top. They've been unbelievable all year. Ernie had an unbelievable first postseason series, you know, for a guy that has been through it a little bit. You know, I think he kind of epitomizes what we are in terms of how we play. So thrilled for him, but the bottom part of our lineup has been relentless the entire season.